All right, welcome to Fanatics Football, the football segment of the Fantasy Fanatics Podcast. I'm your host once again, James, and I'm joined once again by Nate and Mete. What's up, boys?
So,
How's it going?
All right, in today's episode, we're just going to go through all of the games from Week 10 in the NFL and just go over the recap for each one. Then we'll jump right into fantasy football pickups for the week, and then we'll head right into the preview for Week 11. We'll take a look at all the fantasy options and our picks for the spreads of each game. So let's just hop right into the recap here. We'll start with the Thursday night game. Big upset here. Miami Dolphins beating the Baltimore Ravens 22-10. Looking at the stats here for the Dolphins, Tua Tagovailoa comes into this game to replace Jacoby Brissett, who only threw 156 yards. Tua 2 yards better, 158 passing yards for him. And then in terms of rushing, Myles Gaskin, 14 carries for 31 yards. Tua had 3 carries, and that ended up going for just a touchdown. And then moving into receiving, Albert Wilson led this team in receiving, 4 catches for 87 yards. Isaiah Ford, 4 catches for 84 yards. Jalen Waddle, 4 for 61. Adam Shaheen, 3 for 34. And yeah, it looks like a lot of the touchdowns here were either defense or special teams, because this offense really didn't have to do too much to sort of get into the end zone. I guess, Mete, I'll get to you. What are your thoughts on this Dolphins team?
Yeah, I think they are much better than their 3-7 record. And we saw that last year. They were 10-6, I believe. They missed the playoffs by like a game. So yeah, they started off really rough this year, but I think they're on a 2-game win streak now. And beating the Ravens is not an easy task. So it looks like they might be turning things around.
Yeah, for sure. This team's looking really solid, being able to turn things around. I guess we'll sort of have to see what they do in their upcoming games. I heard their schedule is pretty favorable, so yeah, we'll have to see about that. And then getting to the Ravens here, Lamar Jackson, 238 passing yards. He had a passing touchdown and an interception. He also rushed 9 times for 39 yards. Devontae Freeman, 10 for 35. And then through the air, Rashad Bateman, 6 catches for 80 yards. Mark Andrews, 6 for 63 and a receiving touchdown. Marquise Hollywood Brown, 6 for 37. And Devin Duvernay had 4 for 28. I'll get to you, Nate, on this Ravens team. I guess what went wrong for them in this game, and I guess what do you think about them going forward?
I feel like they just couldn't really get into the end zone enough. It looks like there was a pretty decent amount of yardage, especially in receiving. So I guess maybe lean into rushing a little bit more. I know Lamar Jackson, he was getting a lot of carries, so maybe their other running backs can maybe take over the carries a little bit, and then he can try passing a little bit more.
Yeah, I guess there was also a lot of turnovers in this game. Lamar had a pick in this game. I think Watkins had a fumble. So I guess ball protection was sort of an issue for this Ravens team. Sort of gave Miami a lot of great looks to put points on the board. So yeah, I think they definitely need to fix that up for next game. And then moving to the Sunday slate, big blowout here, just like we predicted. Buffalo Bills coming into New York and beating the Jets 45-17. A big win for the Bills. Getting to the scores here, Josh Allen, 366 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, 1 interception. And then in terms of rushing, Devin Singletary, 7 carries, 43 yards and a touchdown. Matt Breida, 3 for 28 and a touchdown. Zach Moss, 7 for 27 and a touchdown. And Isaiah McKenzie, 2 for 17 and a touchdown. So 4 rushing touchdowns on the day for this team. Then through the air, Stephon Diggs, 8 catches, 162 yards and a touchdown. Gabriel Davis, 3 catches, 105 receiving yards. Emmanuel Sanders, 2 for 27. And Matt Breida, he had 3 catches for 22 yards and a touchdown. Nate, I'll get to you on the Bills this time. I guess, what are your thoughts?
I mean, this was pretty much like a perfect storm. Buffalo, they need to prove that they're still a threat in the AFC. The Jets are one of the weaker teams, so they're pretty much primed to go to town on the Jets.
Yeah, definitely agree with that. this Jets team really disappointing here. Mike White, 251 passing yards, 4 interceptions. They bring Joe Flacco into the game. He threw for 47 yards and a touchdown. Looks like he will be getting the start this coming week. So that's a different look for this Jets team. But moving to rushing now, Michael Carter, 16 carries, 39 yards and a touchdown. And then moving to receiving, Corey Davis, 5 catches for 93 yards. Elijah Moore, 3 for 44 and a touchdown. And Michael Carter, 4 for 43 yards. Mete, I'll get to you on this Jets team. I mean, do you think Joe Flacco can turn things around? Or I guess, what are your thoughts?
I don't know if Flacco will be the solution, but I don't think he'll be the problem. But for this game, I really had high hopes for Mike White. He had a great game against the Bengals 2 weeks ago, I think. So, yeah, for him to throw 4 interceptions was kind of disappointing. But the Bills have probably one of the best defenses in the NFL. So, at least I'll give him that. And then, yeah, just looks like the same old Jets, honestly.
Yeah, it's definitely disappointing for this Jets team. Hopefully they can do something about that moving forward. It's going to be tough though. But speaking of disappointing, Tampa Bay Buccaneers being upset by the Washington football team, 29-19, getting to Washington here. Taylor Heineke, 256 pass yards and a passing touchdown. And then on the ground, Antonio Gibson, 24 carries, 64 yards and 2 touchdowns. Then in terms of receiving, Terry McLaurin, 6 catches, 59 yards. DeAndre Carter, 3 for 56 and a touchdown. And J.D. McKissick, 4 for 35 receiving yards. Mete, getting to you on Washington. I guess, what are your thoughts on them in this game?
Yeah, this game, they did a great job. They beat the Buccaneers, so definitely not an easy task. They're the defending champs, and I've been saying for the season, they're much better than their record, and I think they showed it this week as, like I said, the Buccaneers defending champions, and this is only their 3rd loss. So, yeah, Washington stepped up to the plate this week, and let's see if they can keep it going.
It's going to be tough for them to keep it going, though. It looks like defensive end Chase Young tore his ACL, done for the season. Really tough blow to that team. But we'll see what they can do in terms of their offense potentially carrying. And then getting to Tampa Bay, Tom Brady, 220 pass yards, 2 passing touchdowns, but also 2 interceptions. In terms of rushing, Leonard Fournette, 11 carries for 47 yards. Then in terms of receiving, Mike Evans, 2 catches, 62 yards and a touchdown. Chris Godwin, 7 for 57. Leonard Fournette, 8 for 45 yards. And Jalen Darden, 1 for 29 yards, while Cameron Brate's 1 catch went for 6 yards and a touchdown. Nate, I'll get to you on Tampa Bay. I guess, what are your thoughts on this upset?
I'm guessing it's kind of a combination of both Tampa Bay not having their best scoring night and not having the best night on defense as well. I think throughout the season, they haven't been able to stop the pass as well as they were last season. I feel like Washington really burned them on that. And Washington does have a really good run defense still, even though their defense isn't what it was last season. And you can kind of see like Leonard Fournette wasn't able to get into the end zone. They were able to get picks on Tom Brady, which is really impressive. So, yeah, I feel like Tampa Bay needs to, I guess, tighten up a little bit more.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. All the injuries they've had in their secondary this year sort of really impacted them. A team like Washington sort of burned them on that. So we'll have to see, I guess, if they improve for the next game. Getting to the next game, huge blowout here. Dallas Cowboys beating the Atlanta Falcons 43-3. Huge day for the Cowboys. Big bounce back. Dak Prescott, 296 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns. And then Cooper Rush and Ezekiel Elliott also completed passes in this game, which is pretty cool. Then in terms of rushing, Tony Pollard, 11 carries for 42 yards. Ezekiel Elliott, 14 for 41 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. Dak Prescott also rushed in for 5 yards and a touchdown. And then in terms of receiving, CeeDee Lamb, 6 catches, 94 yards and 2 receiving touchdowns. Tony Pollard, 6 catches, 56 yards. And then Amari Cooper, 4 for 51 yards. And then Michael Gallup, and I believe this is his return, 3 catches. And I believe they went for 42 yards. So, Mete, I'll get to you on this Cowboys team. I guess, what are your thoughts on this big win?
Yeah, like you said, they definitely bounced back this week. And yeah, I was really happy to see it. The defense played great. Only giving up 3 points is really impressive. And Dan Quinn gets his revenge on the Falcons. So yeah, Cowboys, it looks like last week was kind of like a one off. So yeah, they're looking great.
Yeah, I definitely agree. This whole offense just looked a whole lot better this week. Getting to the Falcons, they pretty much showed no offense in this game. Matt Ryan, 117 pass yards, 2 interceptions. Josh Rosen came and only threw for 14 and a pick. Then in terms of the ground game, Wayne Gallman, 15 carries for 55 yards. Cordell Patterson, 4 for 25. Then in terms of receiving, Kyle Pitts, 4 for 60. Olamide Zacchaeus went 2 for 22, and there really just wasn't much else through the air. Nate, I'll get to you on the Falcons. Tough loss, but I guess what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I feel like even though the offense wasn't really I guess producing, I guess what I'm more concerned with is kind of their defense and being able to kind of limit really strong teams. I feel like that's been something the Falcons have been lacking for quite some time now. It's not just this season. So I feel like that would be the more immediate fix, even though they didn't really have a good scoring night.
Yeah, I mean, offense was dead in this game. Defense was dead in this game. I really don't know what to say. They have a short week also. They're playing on the Thursday night game against the Patriots. So, yeah, they have to quickly get things together. They really don't want to experience another blowout this next game. And I guess getting to the next game, closer one here, Tennessee beating the New Orleans Saints 23-21. Let's take a look at the stats here for the Titans. Ryan Tannehill, 213 pass yards and a passing touchdown. In terms of rushing, Deontay Foreman, 11 carries for 30 yards. And then Tannehill rushed 5 times for a touchdown. And then in terms of receiving, Marcus Johnson, 5 catches for 100 receiving yards. Deontay Foreman went 2 for 48. And Jeff Swain went 4 for 26. And Michael Pruitt, his 1 catch went for 2 yards and a touchdown. Nate, I'll get to you on this Titans team. I guess, what are your thoughts?
I think it's a pretty impressive win, especially against Saints team with, I think they have the ranked third defense in the league at the moment, and they were still able to win without Derrick Henry. So I guess it kind of shows that they're able to still win even without their best player.
Yeah, I definitely agree. This Titans team, they really changed up their philosophy and they're still getting wins. So it's really impressive. And then getting to the Saints, Trevor Siemian, 298 pass yards, 2 passing touchdowns for him. Then in terms of rushing, Mark Ingram, 14 carries, 47 yards and a touchdown. And then in terms of receiving, Deontay Harris, 3 catches for 84 yards. Mark Ingram, 4 for 61. Traquan Smith, 4 for 44 and a touchdown. And Marquez Callaway went 2 for 37 and a touchdown. Mete, I'll just get to you on the Saints team. I guess, what are your thoughts?
Honestly, I think they've been doing much better than at least what I've been expecting of them this season without Drew Brees. And yeah, now their situation, they're without Jameis Winston, and I'm still impressed as the Titans have been one of the hotter teams in the league right now. And yeah, they only lose by 2 points. Like I said, they don't have Winston, Trevor Siemian. He's like, I thought he was average at best on the Broncos. I think he had like a start or something for the Jets, but he's looked really good this season for the Saints. And then, yeah, they didn't even have Alvin Kamara for this game. So that's an even bigger blow for them. And it makes it even more impressive for me to have 2 of your best players not out there and only to lose by 2 to one of the best teams right now in the league.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think we can take this Saints team seriously. They are a contender to be in the playoffs. They'll definitely need Kamara back if they want to take a run at that, though. Getting to the next game, Indianapolis Colts beating the Jacksonville Jaguars 23-17. Let's get to the Colts stats here. Carson Wentz, 180 pass yards for him. In terms of rushing, Jonathan Taylor, 21 carries, 116 yards and a touchdown. And then in terms of receiving, Michael Pittman, 5 catches, 71 yards. Jack Doyle, 3 for 31. Ninem Hines, 2 for 17. Mete, getting 2 on this Colts team. They get back to 500 now for their record. I guess, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, they're making a huge run, and I think at the point where they were at 0-3 or something, I was saying they're much better than the record, and yeah, they're 5-2 since then. So, like I've been saying, they're a good team, and their first 3 games, I think they were really hard games. I can remember they played like the Seahawks and the Ravens, I want to say, and then the third team I'm forgetting. So it was a tough beginning for them, but they're looking way better now.
Yeah, I think it was Seahawks, Ravens, and Titans. Really tough schedule. Carson Wentz had 2 ankle sprains. Quentin Nelson was injured. They had so many guys out, Eric Fisher and others. And I mean, they still have put together an amazing run. So really impressive. Getting to the Jaguars now, Trevor Lawrence, 162 passing yards for him. Jamal Agnew, 3 rush attempts for 79 yards. That's actually insane. And a touchdown. Really impressive. James Robinson at 12 for 57 and a touchdown. That's great as well. Trevor Lawrence went 5 for 33 on the ground. And then in terms of receiving, Dan Arnold, 5 catches, 67 yards. Marvin Jones, 2 for 35. And then James Robinson went 4 catches for 27 yards. Nate, I'll get to you on Jacksonville. They had a big win in Buffalo last week, but I guess this wasn't their week.
Yeah, unfortunately not. I'll say that it's still a good job that they were able to kind of limit the Colts offense to only 23 points. They're basically a score away from tying it up and going into overtime, or possibly even winning in the fourth quarter. So at least that they have that, and they were able to get across into the end zone with their run game. So now they just kind of have to work on the passing game a little bit.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I was going to say, yeah, their running game's really looking impressive. And yeah, this Jags team's playing better overall, whether it's offense or defense. So definitely like what I'm seeing going forward as well. Getting to the next game. This is insane. We have a tie for the first time this year. Detroit Lions getting their first non-loss of the season. So they're 0-8-1. Pittsburgh Steelers tied them 16-16. No Roethlisberger for the Steelers team. I'll look at the stats for Pittsburgh. Mason Rudolph was at QB, threw for 242 yards, a touchdown and an interception. On the ground, Najee Harris, 26 carries, 105 rush yards. And then in terms of receiving, Deontay Johnson, 7 catches, 483 yards. Ray McLeod, 9 for 63. Pat Freiermuth, 5 for 31. Najee Harris, 4 for 28. And James Washington, 2 catches, 15 yards, and a touchdown. Nate, I'll get to you on Pittsburgh. I guess, what are your thoughts on them and this tie?
I guess the obvious thing is Ben Roethlisberger isn't playing, so that's something to factor in. But I feel like Mason Rudolph, he did a good job kind of stepping in for Ben Roethlisberger. He was still able to generate enough offense, but unfortunately, it wasn't enough. And I feel like their defense wasn't really enough this game as well.
Yeah, I mean, their defense has been allowing pretty much under 20 most of the season, which is pretty impressive. So, being without Roethlisberger, like they were still able to keep the Lions under 20 and give themselves a chance to win. Obviously, it didn't happen, but I definitely like what Pittsburgh has going for them so far. And then I guess getting to the Lions now, Jared Goff, 114 pass yards for him. And then in terms of rushing, DeAndre Swift, 33 carries, 130 yards for him. Godwin Igwebuki had 2 carries for 56 yards and a touchdown. That's pretty good. Jamar Jefferson, 3 for 41 and a touchdown. Then in terms of receiving, Amon-Ra St. Brown, 4 catches, 61 yards. Khalif Raymond, 4 for 29 yards. And Trinity Benson had 2 for 17 yards. Mete, I'll get to you on this Lions team. First game that isn't a loss, I guess. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, they were so close to winning, and they were an extra point away as they shank an extra point and the kick in overtime. So, yeah, I really think at this point the Lions are probably like one of, if not the unluckiest teams in the NFL. They've had like 3 or 4 games they could have easily won, maybe even more. But yeah, they're just not getting it done at the end. But they're playing hard, and like you said, it was their first non-loss, so at least there's some positives.
Yeah, we'll see, I guess, depending on their upcoming schedule, whether they can get an actual win. But yeah, definitely good that they didn't lose that game. Getting to the next game, Nate, our teams went head to head here. A big win for the Patriots. I'm really impressed. 45-7. Of course, no Nick Chubb for the Cleveland Browns, but I'll get to the Patriots stats first here. Mac Jones threw for 198 yards and 3 passing touchdowns. Hoyer came in 3 for 3, 85 yards and a passing touchdown for him. Then on the ground, Ramondre Stevenson, 20 carries for 100 rushing yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. Big day for him in the place of Damian Harris. And then Kendrick Bourne on the ground, 3 for 43, and Brandon Bolden, 3 for 32. So really solid. Then through the air, Kendrick Bourne, 4 catches, 98 yards and a touchdown. Jacoby Myers, 4 catches for 49 yards and his first career touchdown. So great for him. And then Brandon Bolden, 3 for 38 yards. And then Hunter Henry, he had 4 catches. They went for 37 yards and 2 touchdowns. Mete, I'll get to you on the Patriots. I guess, what are your thoughts on this team?
Yeah, I mean, I'm really impressed. I think they're on like a 4-game win streak. And yeah, that's a huge win. 45-7, almost a 40-point win. You don't see that much in the NFL, and the Browns are not a bad team, so it makes it even more impressive. I really like what I see from Mac Jones. He's really reminding me of a rookie Dak. He was kind of slept on, and then his completions are always high. His yards are kind of low, but he's rarely throwing interceptions, and might not have the flashiest numbers, but he's making smart decisions. So can't really hate on him. And then Ramondre Stevenson, he had a big game filling in for Damian Harris. So yeah, the defense is picking it up. The Patriots, they're looking really scary right now.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And take it in that Cleveland did score the first 7 points of this game, and then 45 unanswered points after from the Patriots. Really impressive. We'll get to the stats for the Cleveland Browns. It looks like Baker Mayfield started this game. He threw for 73, a touchdown and an interception. I believe he got injured and he was pulled. Case Keenum comes in. He only threw for 81 passing yards. Then getting to the rushing, Dearness Johnson filling in for Nick Chubb, 19 carries for 99 yards, so 1 yard away from Stevenson. And then in terms of receiving, Dearness Johnson, 7 catches for 58 yards. Jarvis Landry, 4 for 26. And then Austin Hooper, 4 for 25 and a touchdown. Nate, I'll get to you on the Browns. I guess, what are your thoughts on your team?
I guess it's combination of, I feel like the Patriots match up with the Browns pretty well, especially with Nick Chubb out, because the Patriots have a really good pass defense, and yeah, they were able to, I guess, kind of stop the Browns from getting, I guess, to the end zone through passing. So they had to do it through rushing, and they weren't able to. And I guess I'm kind of more concerned about the defense for the Browns more than the offense, mainly because they've been, I guess, having trouble preventing, I guess, touchdowns just in general. And I guess maybe the other thing I'm concerned with was turnovers. I feel like that was a pretty big problem against the Patriots as well.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, it's really showing on Baker Mayfield, all the injuries he's been through this year. I think that once they get Chubb back, and I mean, they'll run Chubb and Johnson until Hunt comes back, which I don't know whether that's going to be at some point this season or not. But yeah, they really need to get back to that run game. And I mean, yeah, good on the Patriots. I believe they started like 2-4. They've been on like a 4-game win streak right now. Yeah, hopefully they can continue it. I'd love to see it. Definitely really solid from them. And then getting to the next game here, Minnesota Vikings beating the LA Chargers 27-20. Getting to the stats for the Vikings, Kirk Cousins, 294 pass yards, 2 passing touchdowns. Then in terms of rushing, Dalvin Cook, 24 carries, 494 yards and a touchdown. And then in terms of receiving, Justin Jefferson, 9 catches, 143 yards. Adam Thielen, 5 for 65. And then Dalvin Cook, 3 for 24 yards. And then I believe Tyler Conklin, he had 3 catches that went for 11 yards and 2 touchdowns. So really solid. Nate, I'll get to you on Minnesota. I guess, what are your thoughts on this team?
Really impressive win. The Chargers, they're potential playoff team, and I feel like the Vikings are too, at least in terms of skills. So I think beating a team like the Chargers kind of proves that.
Yeah, definitely. The Vikings are just right there in terms of getting into the playoffs. There's a lot of teams like right there on the bubble. You got them, you got the Panthers, you got the Falcons. I believe there's a couple other teams just knocking on the door, maybe even San Francisco. So yeah, it's really packed there in the NFC. This was a big win for the Vikings. Getting to the Chargers now, in terms of passing, Justin Herbert, 195 pass yards, a passing touchdown, and an interception. Getting to rushing, Austin Eckler, 11 carries for 44 yards. Larry Roundtree had 5 for 10 and a rushing touchdown. And then getting to receiving, Keenan Allen, 8 catches for 98 yards. Mike Williams, 4 for 33 yards. Josh Palmer had 3 for 22, and Austin Eckler had 3 for 15 and a receiving touchdown. Mete, I'll get to you on the Chargers. I guess, what are your thoughts on this team?
Yeah, I think they started off really well. They were like 3-1, something like that. So they're kind of struggling at the moment, but I'm still impressed with how they're doing this season. They honestly might be tied with their win record last year, maybe like a bit under it. I can't remember how many games they won last year. So for them to be 5-4 right now, I think it's actually impressive, even though they're kind of struggling at the moment. So yeah, if you're a Chargers fan, I know it's tough right now, but your team is showing improvement. So stay in there.
Yeah, for sure. I get what you're trying to say. And the one thing that is tough for this Chargers team is that the Chiefs are now ahead of them in the division. I think the Chargers were leading this division for like 2 or 3 weeks. Chiefs are right back there. So yeah, I think you meant they need to stick to the plan, stick with it, whatever. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. They have been playing well. Defense been a little bit bad in terms of stopping the run, but they definitely gotta fix that up. Speaking of a team that's really solid, Carolina Panthers coming out and beating the Arizona Cardinals 34-10. It was Cam Newton's first game. He didn't get the start, but he did get 4 pass attempts. He completed 3 of them for 8 yards and a passing touchdown. Really solid for him. And then PJ Walker did get the start. He threw for 167 yards and an interception. Safe to say that Cam Newton will be starting the next game. I think it's already been announced. And then in terms of rushing, Christian McCaffrey, 13 carries for 95 yards. Chuba Hubbard, 9 for 27 and a touchdown. And then Cam Newton, he had 3 carries for 14 yards and a rushing touchdown himself. Getting to receiving, Christian McCaffrey, 10 catches for 66 yards. Robbie Anderson, 4 for 37 and a touchdown. Amir Abdullah, 4 for 27, and DJ Moore had 4 for 24 yards. Mete, I'll get to you on this Panthers team. I guess, what are your thoughts with Cam Newton being back and everything?
Yeah, I'm really happy for Cam Newton. It looked like nobody wanted him, and then unfortunate for the Panthers, Sam Darnold goes down and they make the reunion happen. So yeah, I'm happy for him. His situation, I know this is a different sport, but it kind of reminds me of the Carmelo Anthony situation where he wasn't really wanted when he got. Did he get dropped by the Thunder?
Yeah,
It's
I think it
been
was
a while.
OKC, was it?
Yeah, and
It's
then
either that or the Rockets.
yeah, it was the Rockets. You're right. Sorry. And then yeah, what was I saying again?
He went to Portland, yeah.
Yeah, and then Newton wasn't wanted as well, like Carmelo. So Yeah, for him to finally find a team again, and then like you said, he's gonna be starting next game. It's been announced, so I'm happy to see that. I think the Panthers, they were off to a hot start. They've been okay lately, but beating the Cardinals is huge. So yeah, I want to see how far Newton can take this team.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think he's sort of rejuvenated himself coming from New England. He sort of developed into, a more disciplined player. Whether he's in his prime or not anymore, we'll have to see. But yeah, he should definitely be an upgrade when it comes to turnovers compared to Darnold, who was just turning over the ball way too much. Let's get to the Cardinals now. No Kyler Murray, no DeAndre Hopkins for this team. They really struggled this week. Colt McCoy was the starter for QB, 107 passing yards and an interception. I think Chris Strevler came in. He threw for 36 yards. In terms of rushing, James Conner, 10 carries, 39 yards. And of course, he gets his rushing touchdown because that's what he does. And then getting to receiving, Christian Kirk, he catches 458 yards. Zach Ertz, 4 for 46. James Conner, 3 for 25. And Rondell Moore, 2 for 10. Nate, I'll just get to you on this Cardinals team. I guess, what are your thoughts on them without two of their main players?
Yeah, I guess Kyler Murray's kind of like the engine for the offense. When he's there, the Cardinals feel unstoppable. But without him there, the Cardinals become kind of a more beatable team. But I feel like maybe they could have leaned into James Conner a little bit more, let him carry the ball some more, because if I feel like they were having some sort of success with that.
Yeah, I mean, he only had like what 10 carries in the game. Not good enough. You definitely got to feed the rock to him a little bit more. But yeah, the thing is, they also went down in the game, so I think they turned to the passing game, which just really wasn't the same without Kyler Murray. So hopefully Murray's back for the next game and they can have a bounce back. Getting to the next game, big win for the Eagles here. They beat the Broncos 30-13. Getting to the stats, Jalen Hurts, 178 passing yards for the Eagles, 2 passing touchdowns and an interception. In terms of rushing, Jordan Howard, 12 carries for 83 yards on the ground. Boston Scott, 11 for 81. And then Jalen Hurts, 13 carries for 55 yards. And then in terms of receiving, Devontae Smith, 4 catches, 66 yards, 2 touchdowns. Quez Watkins, 4 for 33. Dallas Goedert, 2 catches for 28. And Boston Scott had 2 for 24 yards. Nate, getting to on the Eagles, I guess, what are your thoughts on this win for them?
I feel like this is a pretty impressive win. The Broncos, again, they have a top 5 offense. They're pretty good at defending against the pass, just defense in general, but the Eagles were able to find a way to win.
Yeah, I believe this moves them to second in the NFC East, so they are doing really well for themselves this season. Getting to the Broncos, Teddy Bridgewater, 226 passing yards for him. And then on the ground, Javonte Williams, 8 carries for 48 yards. Melvin Gordon, 9 carries for 45 yards and a rushing touchdown. Then in terms of receiving, Albert O, 3 catches for 77 yards. Noah Fant, 5 for 59. Jerry Jeudy, 6 catches, 48 yards. And then Cortland Sutton, 2 catches for 29 yards. Mete, I'll get you on this Broncos team. I guess what's different about them compared to the last week win against the Cowboys?
The offense was definitely not as good this game, and yeah, the defense definitely struggled as well. So when both sides of the ball you're struggling, you shouldn't expect to win games. So yeah, it looks like it went down as it was supposed to this game.
Yeah, I definitely think so. I feel like that was like their big game of the season. They definitely, I don't know whether they were riding high after it. They kind of came into this game expecting to make quick work of the Eagles, and I guess it just didn't happen. But yeah, hopefully the Broncos can bounce back in their next game. I'm getting to the next game. 2 quarterbacks returned here, Aaron Rodgers for the Packers and Russell Wilson for the Seahawks. Packers beat the Seahawks 17-0. A very surprising win here. I will get to the results for the Packers. Aaron Rodgers, 292 pass yards and an interception. On the ground, A.J. Dillon, 21 carries for 66 yards and 2 touchdowns. Aaron Jones, 7 carries for 25 yards. I believe he suffered an injury in this game. Getting to receiving, Devontae Adams 7 for 78 yards. AJ Dillon 2 catches, 62 yards. Aaron Jones 4 for 61, and Marquez Valdez-Scantling 1 catch for 41 yards. Mete, I'll get to on the Packers. I guess what'd you like from this team?
Definitely like the defense, no points given up, and then Rodgers in his return, pretty bad weather conditions, so he still had a good game. I think he didn't have any touchdowns, but the yards were there. The completion percentage is solid, and 1 interception. So, like I said, in a bad weather game, it's not that bad. Tough blow for them to lose Aaron Jones, though. He's one of the best running backs in the league. But for AJ Dillon fantasy owners, they're probably really happy, and he's about to reward all those people that picked him. So, yeah, the Packers, big win for them.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely agree. Getting to the Seahawks now, Russell Wilson, coming off that finger surgery, he really struggled in his first game. I think when you have those finger injuries, it really it makes it tough to throw the deep ball. I noticed he really wasn't throwing as well this game. He only threw for 161 yards, and he had 2 interceptions, which wasn't good. In terms of rushing, Alex Collins 10 for 41 on the ground. Wilson also had 5 carries for 32 yards. Then getting to receiving, Gerald Everett 8 catches, 63 yards. DK Metcalf 3 for 26. Tyler Lockett 2 for 23, and Travis Homer 3 for 23. There's really not a lot in this game. Nate, I'll get to you on the Seahawks. I guess what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I guess I noticed that the Packers got most of their points in the fourth quarter. So I guess this is kind of a case of you want to make sure that you hold out until the end. And I guess for offense, they're going to have to kind of change their strategy a little bit until Russell Wilson gets healthy.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I guess week by week, Wilson's finger will just keep getting better. And then, I think the offense will definitely improve when he can sort of stretch the field with his deep ball passing ability. So that'll be great to see. And then just getting to the next game here. It's the Sunday night battle between the Chiefs and the Raiders. The Chiefs winning 41-14. I think this Chiefs offense is back just by looking at this game. Really solid, no turnovers from Mahomes, 406 passing yards and 5 passing touchdowns. Really impressive. And then getting to rushing, Darrell Williams, 11 carries for 43 yards. And then in terms of receiving, Travis Kelce, I believe he went 8 for 119 receiving yards. Darrell Williams, 9 catches for 101 and a touchdown. Tyreek Hill, 7 catches, 83 yards and 2 touchdowns. And then Byron Pringle, 4 catches, 46 yards and a touchdown. Noah Gray also had 1 catch that was for a yard and a touchdown. Nate, let me get to you. Is KC Nation back?
I mean, for now, it looks like they're back. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is in full form. They didn't even really need to lean into their rushing game that much, and they still got 43 points. So that's really impressive.
Yeah, I mean, it's very impressive. I'm just wondering whether it's the Chiefs being back or whether it's the Raiders just not having any secondary whatsoever in this game being played. Really disappointing for the Raiders. I'll get to them. Derek Carr threw for 261 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. He also rushed to lead the team on 3 carries for 18 yards, almost no rushing game for this Raiders team. We'll get to receiving. Brian Edwards, 3 catches for 88 yards and a touchdown. Hunter Renfrow, 7 for 46 and a touchdown. And Deshaun Jackson had 1 catch for 38 yards, while Darren Waller added 4 for 24. Mete, I'll get to you on this Raiders team. I guess, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, like you said, I don't know if this was the Chiefs playing well or the Raiders playing poorly. But for the Chiefs to hold the Raiders to 14 is impressive. Their defense has been struggling, and the Raiders, I like their offense. So yeah, they're definitely not a bad team. So definitely impressive there. And then it's really hard to do something when your team turns one dimensional What I mean by that is that the rushing game just got completely stuffed. So they were forced to throw a lot. And yeah, once the Chiefs figure that out, the game just completely changes.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I definitely think that, the Raiders, they just really didn't look good in this game. But yeah, like you said, credit to the Chiefs defense. They only gave up 21 points in their last two games. So when you're only allowing 10.5 points per game, I think that's pretty solid. Offense doesn't need to do too much to get the victory. So definitely impressed with that. And then getting to the Monday night game, it was the LA Rams at the San Francisco 49ers. 49ers with the upset here, 31-10. Getting to the stats for the 49ers. Take a look at Jimmy Garoppolo. He threw for 182 yards and two passing touchdowns. Really impressive. In terms of rushing, Eli Mitchell, 27 carries for 91 yards. Deebo Samuel, 5 carries for 36 yards and a touchdown. I believe Jeff Wilson had 10 carries in this game for 28 yards. And then in terms of receiving, Deebo Samuel, 5 catches, 97 yards and a touchdown. George Kittle, 5 for 50 and a touchdown. And Brandon Ayuk had 3 for 26 yards. Mete, I'll get you on this 49ers team. I think this was a much needed win for them.
Yeah, definitely much needed win. And they're still below 500, but the Rams, they're a contender. So very impressive win. And they win by 21. So that's 3 touchdowns. Makes it even more impressive. Garoppolo, solid game. I really like what I'm seeing from Deebo Samuel. He's showing that he's one of the better receivers in the league. So he's having a crazy breakout year so far.
I mean, I think right now have two top pass catchers in the league, to go along with George Kittle. So I really like the way the offense is shaping out for the 49ers, and it looks like their defense played well also in this game. We'll get to the stats for the Rams. Matthew Stafford, 243 passing yards, a passing touchdown, but 2 interceptions. In terms of rushing, Darrell Henderson, 5 carries for 31 yards. I believe he suffered an injury in this game. And then in terms of receiving, Cooper Kupp, his usual self, 11 catches for 122 yards. Van Jefferson, 3 for 54. Tyler Higbee, 3 for 20 and a touchdown. Then Odell Beckham Jr. had 2 for 18 yards. I guess, Nate, I'll get you on this Rams team. I guess, what are your thoughts on them overall?
I guess this has been kind of a disappointing week for them. I feel like this isn't really their full potential. So I guess hopefully they kind of dust themselves off and I guess try to forget about it next week.
Yeah, 2 tough primetime losses back to back. I know people are going to slam Stafford for not being a good primetime quarterback. But I mean, he's just starting with the Rams. Hopefully he can sort of turn that around in the upcoming games. But yeah, like you said, Rams are a contender. I think Mete, you said that. And then, yeah, they should be able to turn it around, no problem. And then, yeah, that's the end of the recap for week 10. Let's get to the pickups now for fantasy football. I'll start with running backs here. I have Ramondre Stevenson for the New England Patriots. The reason I'm telling you to pick him up, I believe he's heading into this week. He was under 50% rostered. We don't know whether Damian Harris will play for the Thursday matchup. So if you need a running back that's going to be fed 15 plus carries, he's the guy. I think he had over 100 yards last game. He had 2 touchdowns. Definitely go pick him up. Even if Harris does get the start, he's still going to get some work. Most likely, whether it's in the rushing or the receiving game. So definitely a good pickup there. And then Mete, I'll bounce it to you for your running back pickup for the week.
All right, so for running back, Deontay Foreman, Tennessee Titans. It's currently 49% owned, so just under 50. And he led the team in touches out of the backfield last week. So Adrian Peterson, he got signed 2 weeks ago. He did have the most touches 2 weeks ago, but last week they didn't like what they saw from him. And Foreman, he played a great game. So I feel like he should be the lead back going forward in the Tennessee Titans.
All right. And then Nate, I'll get to you. Who's your running back pickup for the week?
I guess for the week, I have Ty Johnson again for the New York Jets. Even though he only got, I guess, 6.3, I guess, fantasy points for Buffalo, he's still a really versatile running back. He can run and he can pass, and he's against, I guess, a Miami defense that they've been near the bottom of the league. So I feel like this is still kind of a chance for Ty Johnson to get a lot of points, especially in a deep league.
Yeah, if he's getting a lot of work in the receiving game, if they go down against Miami, then he should still be able to get some work. So definitely a solid pickup. Getting to wide receivers now, I have Rashad Bateman. He was also under 50% rostered coming into this week. I believe he led the Ravens in both targets and receiving yards this past game. His workload has just increased week by week. I think he started out with like 6 targets a game, and now he's getting like almost 8 targets a game. So I think Lamar Jackson, even though he's a rookie, he's trusting him a lot more. Definitely, if he's the number one option in terms of targets for this Ravens team, he definitely should be rostered. So I feel like that he's a guy that, you can throw in your flex spot and he's not going to hurt you every week. So definitely a solid pickup for me. And then Mete, I'll get to you for wide receivers.
So I decided to go for another Tennessee Titan, Marcus Johnson, 15% owned, and he got 6 targets last game as he replaced Julio Jones in the starting lineup, who's on IR. So yeah, I think he should start again, and I liked what I saw from him.
All right. And Nate, I'll move to you. I guess who's your wide receiver pickup for the week?
For the week, I have another deep league pick. I guess Amon-Ra St. Brown. Again, I know he is on the Detroit Lions, but he's been doing pretty well so far. He's had some big games against teams with pretty good defenses, and even against Pittsburgh, he got 8 fantasy points. The Browns, they don't have the best pass defense still, so he should be able to get a lot of points.
Yeah, I think the only game he got blanketed was the game he was being guarded by Jalen Ramsey. All the other games he was able to produce. So yeah, definitely a solid pickup. I'll get into some quarterbacks now. For quarterback, I have Cam Newton for the Carolina Panthers. This is an obvious one. He's getting the start for the Panthers. Even though he might not throw more than 200 passing yards, he's going to get you a lot of rushing yards, which is a very great floor in fantasy. He should be able to get you between 15 and 20 fantasy points, possibly even more than that. So if you need a guy to slot in for a bye week, maybe you got Matthew Stafford. I think he's one of the guys on bye this week. And, you need someone to throw in, definitely go pick up Cam Newton. He'll be really solid. I've been mentioning Tua Tagovailoa almost every week. He's another guy. He came back from injury last week, looked really solid. He also has a nice rushing floor as well. So he's another guy you can throw into that starting lineup if you have a guy on bye, and he'll be really solid. Mete, I'll get to you for tight ends. I guess who's your pickup for the week?
So tight end, I went with Dan Arnold from the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's currently 37% owned, and his last 3 games, he's seen a huge spike in targets. It's been targeted 24 times over the last 3 games. So yeah, if he's seeing that many targets, there aren't many tight ends out there that get that many targets. So I think it's an obvious pickup.
Yeah, I definitely agree. This year, tight end is sort of all over the place. If you have a guy that's getting targets, a guy that's running routes, that's what you want. Definitely want to go pick those guys up. Nate, I'll get to you. Who's your tight end pickup for the week?
For the week, you can take a look at Tyler Conklin. He's more of a shallow league pickup, about 35% rostered, but he's been really solid throughout the season, especially for the last 4 weeks. He's been getting over 7 fantasy points per game, which is really good for a tight end. He gets plenty of targets. So as long as the Vikings are hot, I feel like Conklin should get a lot of exposure.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree. I think Kirk Cousins is looking for him in the end zone a lot as well. I believe he had 2 touchdowns last game. So red zone targets are important as well. Definitely really solid. And yeah, that's the end for pickups for the week. So let's just hop right into the week 11 preview for fantasy. We'll take a look at all the games. We'll start with Thursday night. Patriots against Falcons, two teams that I cheer for. I'm really going to be interested in this game, so I'll preview it for fantasy. I guess, guys, you can start from each team with the Patriots. Whether it's Damian Harris or Ramondre Stevenson starting, that's the running back you want in your starting lineup. And then Jacoby Myers, he's been getting a lot of targets. He also found the end zone last game. Definitely start him. And also Hunter Henry, he's been getting touchdowns every week. I believe he even had 2 last week. So at tight end, you need guys that are getting catches and touchdowns. Definitely start him. I guess some deep league guys would be Mac Jones, Brandon Bolden, Nelson Aguilar, Kendrick Bourne, and Jonnu Smith if he plays. Getting to the Falcons, the only guys I'd be comfortable starting would be Kyle Pitts at tight end. And then whether it's Cordero Patterson or Mike Davis starting, I think Patterson's questionable right now. So whoever gets the start at running back, that's the guy you should be rolling out. And then deep league guys would be Matt Ryan, Hayden Hurst, Russell Gage, and Tajay Sharp. So let's get into the spread for this game. The Patriots are favored by 7 points. Nate, I'll get to you. Which side are you on here?
I'm gonna have to go with the Patriots. I feel like the Falcons are too streaky on offense, and Patriots have a pretty solid defense and a pretty solid offense. So one score is more than doable.
All right, and Mete, I'll get to you. I guess which side are you on here?
Yeah, I think Cordell Patterson might be out this game, and he's probably their main target on offense. And I've been picking against the Patriots a lot, and yeah, I said for the preview, I'm impressed with them. So yeah, this week I'll go with the Patriots. They're looking great.
Yeah, I definitely have to lean with the Patriots as well. Just like you said, Cordell Patterson might not be there for the Falcons. He's been the best playmaker there next to Kyle Pitts. Definitely it's going to be a struggle for them on offense if, Pitts gets blanketed, whether it's by Jackson or someone else. And then Matt Ryan has to try and find other targets. It's going to be really difficult for them. Definitely think the Patriots can win by a touchdown or more. Getting to the next game, it's San Francisco against Jacksonville. Mete, I'll get to you for the preview.
All right, so Jimmy Garoppolo, I'd go for in deeper leagues. Elijah Mitchell for sure. Deebo Samuel as well. George Kittle. And then Brandon Ayuk, I'd go for in deeper leagues. He had a really tough start, but then I think like last 2 weeks he's been okay. So if you're desperate or something, you could definitely give him a look. And then for Jacksonville, Trevor Lawrence, I'd go for in deeper leagues. James Robinson, Dan Arnold, like I was saying, and then Marvin Jones as well.
All right. And then getting to the spread here, the 49ers are favored by 6.5. I guess, Mete, which side would you be on here?
Yeah, I think I'll go with the 49ers. They just have to win by a touchdown. Jacksonville's been struggling. San Francisco, I think they're definitely better than Jacksonville, so I'll take them.
All right. And Nate, I'll get to you. I guess, which side are you on here?
I guess I'll go with Jacksonville until I guess their passing game starts to pick up.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Jacksonville as well. I think that they've been keeping it close with a lot of the teams they've been playing, including Buffalo and the Indianapolis Colts. I think 6.5 is more than doable for them. 49ers are also on the road in this game, so I'm not 100% sure whether they can cover the 6.5. So yeah, I will go with Jacksonville also. Getting to the next game, Baltimore against Chicago. Nate, I'll get to you on the preview for fantasy.
So I guess for Baltimore, there's a few guys who are starting that are questionable: Lamar Jackson, Marquise Brown, Latavius Murray. So that does leave some room for like Rashad Bateman, Sammy Watkins, Devontae Freeman. They're probably going to get some more looks. So especially if you're in a deep league, you're going to want to take a look at them. Maybe in some shallow leagues as well. And then you could take a look at Mark Andrews as well. He's been really consistent, so you're definitely going to want to start him. For Chicago, it's kind of hard to tell who to start, but I guess you can maybe take a look at David Montgomery. Darnell Mooney, he's questionable, so you're going to want to double check before you start him. And then in deep leagues, you might be able to take a look at Cole Kmet. Justin Fields, he hasn't been too consistent, so I'm kind of hesitant to recommend starting him, but he is an option if you're kind of confident in his improvement.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It's really tough to start anyone outside of Montgomery. Even Allen Robinson, it's really tough to start at this point. He's just really not getting targets. Let's get to the spread here. Spread's all over the place, but I think the consistent one is -5 in favor of the Ravens. Nate, I'll get to you first. Which side are you on here?
I guess I'm gonna go with the Ravens just because they're a pretty solid team. Chicago, I feel like they still need to pick up their defense a little bit, and I'm not sure if they can stop the Ravens as decent as their defense is.
All right. And Mete, getting to you. Ravens are favored by 5.5. Who do you like here?
Uh, that's a good question. Ravens. I think I'll go for Ravens. I know they're not home, but the Bears, I don't know. I feel like they're uh too inconsistent for me to pick.
Yeah, I think I'm going to agree there. I think I'm going to go with the Ravens. If the spread's below a touchdown, I think you just have to go there. I mean, they have to bounce back from that game against Miami. I know we saw Dallas do and have a nice bounce back game. We saw other teams bounce back. I think this is sort of the spot where the Ravens do it, so I definitely like them. Then getting to the next game, Green Bay against Minnesota. I'll preview this one for fantasy. So for Green Bay, you're starting Aaron Rodgers, obviously. You're starting Devontae Adams, and you're starting A.J. Dillon in the place of the injured Aaron Jones. And then in deep leagues, you could probably roll out guys like Alan Lazard, Randall Cobb, and maybe Marquez Valdez-Scantling since he's healthy now. And then for the Vikings, you're starting Dalvin Cook, you're starting Adam Thielen, Justin Jefferson, and potentially Tyler Conklin, as the tight end landscape isn't that great. He's been playing really well. You'll probably roll him out. And then deep leagues would be guys like Kirk Cousins, Alex Madison, KJ Osborne. Let's get to the spread now. Packers are favored by 2.5. Mete, which side are you on here?
That's a pretty small spread, and the Packers, they've been great. So I like the Packers here for sure.
All right, Nate, I'll get to you. Which side are you on here?
If the spread was bigger, I would say go with Minnesota. I feel like they do have upset potential against the Packers, but Packers are just really solid overall. So I feel like until they start having a losing streak, you'd want to go with the Packers.
I feel like all of Minnesota's games are like one score games. So if they win, they're going to cover. If they lose, they won't cover. That's pretty much how it is. So do I think Minnesota is going to win this game? I think Green Bay has a higher chance of winning this game. So I think I'm going to take them on the spread. I think Green Bay is the better team. Their defense has been like top 5 in the league the past like 4 or 5 games. They've looked really solid. So yeah, I think I am going to lean with the Packers here. Getting to the next game, New Orleans against Philadelphia. Mete, I'll get to you on this one for fantasy.
All right, so for the Saints, Trevor Siemian, like I was saying, I'm impressed. You could start him in deeper leagues. Mark Ingram if Kamara is out. If not, you want to start Kamara only, and then Deontay Harris, Traquan Smith, and Marquez Callaway. I'd go for in deeper leagues. They're just way too inconsistent to trust right now. And then Philadelphia, Jalen Hurts, Jordan Howard, and Boston Scott. If Miles Sanders is out, but he might be back. So if he is back, only start Miles Sanders and then Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert.
All right. And getting to the spread here, it looks like the Eagles are favored by 1.5. Mete, which side are you on here?
This is like definitely picking the winner as this one of the smallest spreads. So, well, I don't know. It's a tough one. The Eagles have been kind of playing much better lately, and then, like I was saying for the Saints, I'm impressed with them. So I think I'll just go with the Saints.
All right. And Nate, I'll get to you. I guess which side are you on here?
This is pretty much just a toss-up matchup, but the Saints do have a top 3 defense for the season, if I'm not mistaken. So I feel like they should be able to hold off the Eagles.
Yeah, I think this spread probably will flip if Alvin Kamara is confirmed for this game. So I think you might want to take the Saints while they're underdogs if you expect Kamara to play, because you won't be able to get them as underdogs later in the week. But yeah, if Kamara doesn't play, I think I'm going to go with the Eagles. They've just been playing really solid lately on both offense and defense. I can't deny what they've been doing. So yeah, as of right now, it looks like no Kamara. So yeah, I am going to go with the Eagles here. Getting to the next game, Houston against Tennessee. Nate, I'll get to you for that one for fantasy.
So for Houston, again, not really too many players that you would want to take a look at. Brandon Cooks, I feel like he's been one of the players that you could start. He's been pretty solid throughout the season. Maybe in deeper leagues, you can take a look at David Johnson. Tyrod Taylor, he was more solid in the beginning of the season, but I feel like as it starts to shake the rust off, he might be able to improve. And I guess for Tennessee, you can take a look at maybe Ryan Tannehill, AJ Brown in shallow leagues. Deep leagues, it's gonna depend on who Tannehill targets, but you could take a look at maybe Donta Foreman, Marcus Johnson, Nick Westbrook, Kine, and Jeff Swain.
All right, and getting to the spread for this game, it looks like the Titans are favored by 10. Nate, I'll get to you first. I guess which side do you like here?
I guess I'll go with the Titans even without Derrick Henry, mainly because Houston, they haven't been playing their best lately. So yeah.
All right, and Mete, I'll get to you. I guess which side do you like on this game?
What was the spread? Sorry.
I think the Titans are favored by 10.
Okay. It's kind of a bigger spread, but like I was saying before, the Titans have been so hot that I think I don't really want to pick against them, and they're home, so I might have to go with the Titans here.
Yeah, I guess just looking at the spread, 10 seems like a lot. I feel like there could be like a backdoor cover opportunity for the Texans, maybe like garbage time cover, something like that. So maybe I will roll with Houston. I think some places the spread has climbed to 10.5. So if it keeps climbing, it just looks a whole lot better for this Texans team. So I think I am going to side with them. And then getting to the next game, Washington against Carolina. I'll preview this one for fantasy. For the football team, you'd be starting Antonio Gibson and Terry McLaurin. And then I guess guys you could start maybe in deep leagues, Taylor Heineke, JD McKissick, Ricky Seals-Jones if he plays, and potentially Curtis Samuel or one of the other receivers. And then in terms of Carolina, you probably start Cam Newton, like I mentioned earlier, Christian McCaffrey 100%. DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson. I don't know which one's going to get more targets now since Robbie Anderson's being featured more with Cam Newton. But yeah, you could probably roll both of them out. One of them is going to really go off for you. And then deep league guys are like Chuba Hubbard and Terrace Marshall. So let's get to the spread for this game. Taking a look at it, it looks like the Panthers are favored by 3.5 at home. Mete, I'll get to you first. Which side do you like here?
3.5. I don't know. Washington's coming off a big win, and then the Panthers as well. So it's kind of a tough one. I might have to just side with the home team here and the Panthers.
All right. And Nate, I'll get to you. I guess which side do you like here?
I guess I'll go with the Panthers. The Panthers do have a pretty good defense, so they should be able to hold off Heineke enough to cover this, and Cam Newton's back as well. So yeah.
Yeah, I think I might side with the Panthers here. It's not too many points. Their defense looked great last week. Their offense also looked great last week. If the Panthers can put that early season defense together with this new Cam Newton offense, I think they definitely could be a playoff team this year. So yeah, I definitely like them to win and cover this game. Getting to the next matchup, Indianapolis against Buffalo. Mete, I'll get to you for this preview.
Yeah, so for the Colts, Carson Wentz in deeper leagues, Jonathan Taylor, Michael Pittman Jr., and then T.Y. Hilton. And then Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen, maybe Devin Singletary in deeper leagues, Stephon Diggs, Manuel Sanders, Cole Beasley, and Dawson Knox.
All right, and let's get to the spread here. It looks like the Bills are favored by 7. I guess, Mete, which side are you on here?
I think this could be a close game, so I'll go with the Colts for that reason.
All right, Nate, I'll get to you. Bills favored by 7. Which side are you on here?
I'm gonna go with the Bills mainly because the Bills can pretty much score as much as they want, and it's gonna pretty much come down to can the Colts keep up with the Bills? And I'm not really too sure if they can.
All right. And I guess looking at this game, I just think back to that wild card game from last year. It was pretty much like tied or like a one score game the whole way through. And I think that the Colts have a more athletic quarterback now in Carson Wentz compared to Phillip Rivers. I actually think they have a chance to upset in this game. So I am going to go with the Colts at +7. This game, in my opinion, should be a pick 'em. I think both teams are really solid on both offense and defense. So yeah, definitely think the Colts should be able to cover here. Getting to the matchup, Detroit against Cleveland. Nate, I'll get to you for this preview.
So I guess for Detroit, you can take a look at DeAndre Swift if he's healthy. TJ Hawkinson, you're definitely going to want to start him. And then I guess for deep leagues, you can take a look at Cliff Raymond and Amon-Ra St. Brown. And for Cleveland, you can maybe take a look at Dearness Johnson if Nick Chubb isn't playing this week. You can also take a look at Jarvis Landry, David Njoku. For Nick Chubb, it's going to kind of depend on the COVID protocol and if they clear him to play. So if he's cleared to play, you can definitely start him. I guess in deeper leagues, you can maybe take a look at Donovan Peoples-Jones and Austin Hooper.
All right. And getting to the spread, looks like Cleveland's favored by 11.5 points. Nate, do you think they can cover this?
Honestly, I want to be able to say that they can cover this, but we just saw the Lions tie against the Steelers, and the Steelers have a better defense, at least in passing, in my opinion. So I'm gonna have to go with the Lions on this.
Yeah, I think I might side with the Lions as well. Even if Nick Chubb is confirmed, I think 11.5 is still quite a lot of points. I don't know, Mete, what's your opinion on this?
The Lions have been so hard to call. I honestly don't know anymore, but yeah, I guess if you were to ask me, I might go with the Lions as well since it's a bigger spread.
All right. And getting to the next game, New York Jets against the Miami Dolphins. I'll preview this one for fantasy. So, guys, for the Jets, you might want to start Michael Carter, Elijah Moore, and potentially Corey Davis as well. And then deep league guys would be Jamison Crowder, Ty Johnson. And I put Mike White, but I found out he's not starting. It's actually Joe Flacco. So Joe Flacco would probably just be a deep league look. And then I guess, guys, you could start for the Dolphins. Tua Tagovailoa, like I mentioned earlier, Myles Gaskin, Jalen Waddle, Mike Gesicki, and Devontae Parker. It's a great matchup. Roll them all out. Sits or deep league starts would be like Salvon Ahmed or like Albert Wilson. Wilson did look solid last game, but I feel like that was sort of a one game thing for him. I think Waddle and Parker are the main guys you should be rolling out for wide receivers. And then getting to the spread for this game, Dolphins are favored by 3.5. Nate, I'll get to you. Which side are you on here?
It's pretty much a toss up, but I guess I'll go with the Jets just because they're at home.
All right. And Mete, I'll get to you. Dolphins -3.5. Who do you like?
Yeah, I think I like the Dolphins. They're looking better and it's not that big of a spread, so I'd go for Dolphins.
Yeah, I feel like the Dolphins offense has been great most of the year. It's just their defense has been pretty poor. I think they have improved the past couple of weeks, so I think I will be okay taking the Dolphins at 3.5. I definitely think that they can cover this game. And then getting to the next matchup, Cincinnati against Las Vegas. Mete, I'll get to you for this preview.
Okay, so for the Bengals, Joe Burrow, I'd start Joe Mixon. T. Higgins, he's been great, especially last week. Jamar Chase, and then CJ Uzoma and Tyler Boyd. I'd start in deeper leagues. For the Las Vegas Raiders, Derek Carr, Josh Jacobs, Kenyon Drake could be a deeper league play. Brian Edwards, I'd start in deeper leagues as well. And then Hunter Renfro and Darren Waller for sure.
All right. And getting to the spread here, Bengals are favored by 1. Mete, which side are you on here?
another tough call, but guess if you were to ask me, I might go for the Raiders as I'm expecting a close game. They're home and they have the plus. So yeah, I'll go for the Raiders.
All right, Nate, -1 for the Bengals. Which side are you on here?
I'm gonna go with the Raiders, not because the Bengals are bad, but I feel like the Raiders offense kind of matches up pretty well with how Bengals defense likes to play other teams, and it is at home. It's only +1, so yeah.
Yeah, I think I was going to take the Raiders just because I feel like the Bengals are on the decline. They just really haven't played the same for the past few weeks. I know Raiders have been up and down, but they are at home. I think that they can bounce back. This is another one of these games where I'm like, a team, they have a bad outing. I think they can bounce back. I think this is the Raiders here. I definitely like what I've been seeing from them, subtracting last game, obviously. But yeah, I think I'll take the Raiders as well. Getting to the next game, Arizona against Seattle. Nate, I'll get to you for the preview on this one.
So I guess for Arizona, if Kyler Murray is cleared to play, you're gonna want to start him. Same thing with DeAndre Hopkins. He's questionable, but if he gets cleared, you're still gonna want to start him. James Conner, he's been pretty good for fantasy, so you're definitely going to want to start him. You can also take a look at Christian Kirk, AJ Green, Zach Ertz. Rondale Moore, I feel like he's going to be kind of more of a deep league start. And I guess for Seattle, it's kind of hard to tell at the moment, but you could take a look at Russell Wilson, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Alex Collins if he's healthy.
All right, and getting to the spread here, looks like the Cardinals are favored by 2.5. I guess, Nate, which side are you on?
It's pretty much going to depend on if Kyler Murray's playing or not. So if he's playing, I'm going to go with the Cardinals, but if he's not, I'm going to go with the Seahawks.
All right, I'll bounce it to you, Mete. Cardinals -2.5. Which side are you on?
Yeah, I like what Nate said. I would say the same thing as well.
Yeah, I think if Kyler Murray plays, I don't know if he's going to be 100%. I think, Mete, what you said about the weather being a factor in the Seahawks last game, I think Wilson should overall be better in this game. I think they could win outright either way, injuries or no injuries. The Seahawks defense was very impressive last week. Jamal Adams obviously getting that interception. They just look solid overall. I think I might go with the Seahawks either way in this game. They're home. They're getting the points. So yeah, I like the Seahawks there. Mete, I'll get to you for the next one. Dallas against Kansas City.
All right, so for the Cowboys, you'll start Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, Tony Pollard. In deeper leagues, Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, and then Michael Gallup, I'd start in deeper leagues, and Dalton Schultz as well. I know he started the season great, but lately he's been on the decline, so it's kind of untrustworthy right now. And then Patrick Mahomes for the Chiefs, Darrell Williams if Clyde Edwards-Helaire is out. If not, I'd obviously start Edwards-Helaire and bench Williams. And then Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce.
All right. And getting to the spread here, Chiefs are favored by 2.5. I guess, Mete, which side are you on here?
I think I have to pick the Cowboys. Expecting a close game, and they're giving the plus to the Cowboys. So yeah, I'm going for Cowboys.
All right, Nate, I'll bounce it to you. Chiefs are favored by 2.5. Which side are you on?
It's kind of tough to tell because I feel like it's going to come down to defense again. I feel like Dallas's defense has been better than Kansas City's, so I'm going to go with Dallas for now.
Yeah, I think this is a game where, the teams didn't really play well a couple weeks back, but then they both had their bounce back game last week. I think that this is pretty much a pick 'em. So I think I might go for Dallas just for that reason, because I feel like that these teams should be even. I don't really think there's a favorite in this matchup. So, I mean, Dallas is getting the point. So I think I'm going to lean with the Cowboys as well. Getting to the Sunday night matchup, Pittsburgh Steelers against the LA Chargers. I'll preview that for fantasy. So for Pittsburgh, you're starting Najee Harris, starting Chase Claypool if he plays, Deontay Johnson for sure, and potentially Pat Freiermuth as well if you need a tight end. Then deeper leagues, Ben Roethlisberger if he plays, and potentially James Washington in deeper leagues. And then for the Chargers, you're starting Justin Herbert, Austin Eckler, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, and Jared Cook's been pretty solid most of the year, so you could probably roll him out. Deeper leagues would be guys like Josh Palmer, Justin Jackson if he plays, and potentially Jalen Guyton. So getting to the spread here, Mete, I'll start with you. Chargers are favored by 5.5. I guess which side are you on here?
I think if Roethlisberger can play, I'll definitely pick the Steelers. But if he doesn't, I think the Chargers should be able to cover that.
Yeah, I think give me Pittsburgh as well. Their defense is really solid. They keep it close with almost every team. I think plus 5.5 is good for me. But Nate, what do you think?
I'm going to go for the Steelers as well.
All right. Getting to Monday's game now. It's the New York Giants against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Nate, I'll get to you for the preview on this one.
So for New York, again, quite a few guys that are questionable. I guess the main guys you would start are questionable: Saquon Barkley and Sterling Shepard. So you're going to want to double check to see if they're cleared to play. Rest of their guys, I'd say maybe start them in deep leagues: Daniel Jones, Devontae Booker, who's also questionable, Kenny Golladay, Kadarius Toney, and Evan Ingram. And I guess for Tampa Bay, pretty much all their starters you could probably start in a shallow league: Tom Brady, Leonard Fournette, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Antonio Brown, and Rob Gronkowski, although he's questionable as well. So you're also going to want to double check that.
All right. And getting to the spread for this game, looks like the Bucs are favored by 10.5. Nate, I'll get to you first. I guess who do you like in this game?
I mean, it is a kind of a big spread, but at the same time, these are the defending champs of the NFL right now, and I feel like they need to have a big game in order to show everyone that they're still more than ready to contend for the title.
All right. And Mete, I'll get to you. Which side are you on here?
It's kind of a bigger spread. That's the only thing that's scaring me. But yeah, maybe the Buccaneers will be mad at their performance last week and come out looking for vengeance this week. So I'd go for the Buccaneers, I guess.
Yeah, this is a tough matchup to really take a look at. You just don't really know. I think the Bucs should be able to win. I was just hoping for a spread that's under 10 points. I think the Bucs might win by like 10. So if it's like 10.5 or something, I might have to go with the Giants. I mean, they've been keeping it close on primetime games. That's what I noticed about the Giants. Against the Chiefs, it was close. Against the football team, it was close. I think maybe they keep it close in this game. So yeah, I think I'm just going to lean for the Giants on this one. And yeah, that's the end of the Week 11 preview for the NFL. Just make sure you check us out on Instagram and Twitter at FanFan Podcast. We'll be posting the updated picks for these games on Sunday. Definitely go check them out. Also check out the podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, hit the bell for notifications on YouTube, leave us a review, all that good stuff. And yeah, guys, some exciting games. Mete, Cowboys are up against the Chiefs. Browns got the Lions. Patriots Thursday night against Atlanta. It's pretty exciting for me. And yeah, we'll talk to you guys on the next episode.